Hi, welcome to Leaving the Lies and Speaking Your Truth. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to both our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, both under the title of Leaving the Lies and Speaking Your Truth. We do appreciate all the support that we're already getting. Liking, sharing, and subscribing does help to promote our page and get the word out there so that we can hopefully reach more people and help more people. Today we have a very special guest. Most of you actually will know her or remember her as Sandy Breik from Michigan. She is now Sandy Johnsman. She is also my mom. She is here to share her story of her past and
what's mom? Yeah. I'm
Oh.
Autumn's mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, and your mom
Autumn.
too. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
And Autumn's mom as well. Autumn, welcome to the show. How are you doing? It's your mom too, yes?
Okay. All right. Just as long as we got that clear.
Okay, yes. I'm sorry. I left that part out.
Yes, she did. That's funny.
Okay. And Mom, I'm going to call you Mom. How are
Yes,
you doing
Mom
today?
is good. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm up.
You're
we
up.
got this, guys. We got this.
Okay.
She's a little frazzled. It's okay.
She's awake.
I am awake.
It is an
Okay.
early morning interview. That is true for
Yeah.
us.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. Mom, can you tell us when and how you got involved in the House of Yahweh?
Yes, it was in 1989. Mel, if I get any dates wrong, correct me.
Okay.
And Bob, Melody's dad was always looking for the truth. Always searching different religions and stuff. And he came up to me and he had this pamphlet on the name of the creator and why your prayers are not answered. So I read that and I thought, yeah, that makes sense. You know, Yahweh, that makes sense. And then later on, he showed me a pamphlet. I don't know what the pamphlet was about, but I know that Yedidia was kneeling and all these other elders had their hand. I didn't know they were elders at the time. And they had their garments on and they had their hands on his head. And Bob says, well, what do you think of this? I said, well, it looks like a cult to me. So there you go.
Well,
Wow.
so that
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean, had you just listened to that intuition, we would not have been here today.
Exactly. But I'd have never known you and, you know, Nick
Yes.
and Deb and all the friends I made. So
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I love
Absolutely.
everything happens for a reason.
So
Yes.
I actually think she answered my question. Well, I'll ask this question. You kind of answered it in the booklet form, but what were your first thoughts or impressions of the House of Yahweh, other than seeing the holy garments in that booklet and thinking it was a cult?
that was a booklet that
Right.
wasn't in the House of Yahweh of the Oppression. My first impression is, you know, it seemed real friendly and all the people were really friendly and I was fine with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we first started this back in July, correct, Mel?
Yes.
June, July.
Yep.
Melody had gone to you and said, Mom, I want you to tell your story. And you're like, I don't have a story. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Why did you think you didn't have a story?
Well, because a lot of, you know, because things weren't real bad when I was there. I was only there for 5 years. And I figured, you know, all this other stuff that everybody else goes through. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't have a story. We were there 5 years and we were out, you know, so that's why I thought, what's my story?
Right.
Because a lot of the bad stuff was not going on.
So as time has progressed, and I know this has brought up a lot of memories for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you changed your mind? You do have a story. You do have something to share that would help people.
So, I suppose I do. Melody says I do.
No.
So there you go.
I think you do, and I think part of the reason I wanted to ask that question, Mom, is because I think there's a lot of people watching that think they don't have a story. They think, well, what happened to me was so insignificant. I didn't really have any trauma.
Right.
Even the trauma that you had, Mom, and the stuff that you experienced, which we'll talk about later in the interview.
Right.
You shouldn't minimize how that affected you, because you did have trauma from that place. You do have a story, and your life was affected significantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, you
So,
go ahead.
Sandy, can you share with us some of your ex-husband's addiction issues and how they were handled by the House of Yahweh?
Well, but you mean what he was addicted to when we joined the House of Yahweh?
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
He always had an addiction problem. Bob always had a vice. When we first got married, he was into a lot of heavy stuff, drinking, smoking marijuana, doing pills. I think the only thing he never did was heroin because he was afraid of needles. But that was the very beginning of our marriage. And then when I think Carrie was 6 months old, he had quit, drinking, which drinking was a big thing for him. He had a bad drinking problem and he had quit drinking. I think he still would sneak but he still was smoking his pot. And I think he was still, I'd catch him, doing other things now and again. And, but eventually he quit everything but his marijuana. And so he was sober for 12 years.
Until we joined the House of Yahweh.
Till we joined the House of Yahweh, and they said that there is no such thing as addiction. You aren't an alcoholic. You just got to learn to control it. And I kind of told Bob, I said, well, I don't know about that. He says, well, I think I can handle it. Well, we all saw the end of that story.
So let me interject this question. So he went to the House of Yahweh and he was, let's say talking to an elders, whomever. Mm-hmm. And he said to them, I have addictions to marijuana and alcohol. And those elders looked at him and said, we don't believe it.
He didn't talk to the elders about any addictions. He ain't gonna admit he has addictions. He never thought.
But he was told that there was no such thing as an alcoholic or addiction. So do you remember who told him that?
Mel, let her get to the point, honey.
We listened to a tape that said, I remember because we were ordering tapes and stuff, and I think that's where he heard that.
Oh. Okay.
I will be honest with you. My dad was in OA, Overeaters Anonymous, in AA. And I know which tape you're talking about because he was like, well, wait a minute. How are you going to tell me there's not such things as addiction? Right. You're going to tell me that I can pick up a drink? He goes, when I would drink like a fish out of, a fish in water, I would constantly drink this. So I understand what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, Mel.
Oh, it's okay.
So at Seder's, when we would drink 4 glasses of wine, my dad would literally put the wine on his finger to his lips, and that would be it. What would Bob do?
Oh, hell, he was hitting that shit in the trailer before we even went to say, are you kidding me? He was an alcoholic, full-blown. Wow. He was happy to be drinking again. And someone telling him it was okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So here you are going, here we are again. Having to fight this addiction.
Here we are again.
And the only thing I'm going to add, because there may be people watching that haven't watched some of our other episodes and may not know what happened to my dad ultimately died from his alcoholism. In 2017. So I just want to, because you said, everybody knows how that ended. I just wanted to make sure that anybody who doesn't know how it ended, that's how it ended.
Yeah.
Now we'll move on to the next question. We know that you sold your house while you were in the House of Yahweh. Can you walk us through how and why that took place?
Well, because again, listening to tapes, Israel Hawkins was saying that you didn't need any material things, to get rid of all your material things, and the world was going to end, and it was a doomsday cult, and you need to get rid of all your material things, and that's why we sold our house.
And
so let me just add this part to people who are wondering, what are these tapes she's talking about? Y'all lived at the time in Michigan.
Yeah, we lived in Michigan.
So what you would do is you would pay, I don't know how this went down, but I know the tapes were $3 a piece. I don't know if you paid monthly fees or what it was, but they would send you the weekly sermon tapes. And if you wanted back sermon tapes, you could order them. And that's what she's talking about. Yisrael, basically, whether it was class that he had given or sermons or a sermon that any elder had given, you were able to order and listen to.
Right.
If I remember right, I think there was an order sheet that would come in the monthly prophetic word that had all the Sabbath sermons and the cassettes on.
Bob would order all kinds of stuff. Your dad would order all kinds of stuff from there.
Yep.
So once you sold your house, well, I mean, now you had this money. You're still living in Michigan. What happened?
Well, of course, we had to tithe on it.
And let me guess, was that a third tithe year?
I'm thinking it was.
And didn't you sell that house at the direct order of Yisrael Hawkins saying you need to sell, it's time?
I don't know if we did, or I don't know that for
sure.
sure.
I kind of remembered it happening that way, but I could be wrong on that.
He may have, and then Mel, we moved into one of your grandpa's houses that he owned.
Yeah.
And
then we rented. Yep.
Yeah, and we rented. Yeah.
And I actually, do you remember, did Israel suggest that we move to Abilene at that point? And why did we not move to Abilene? Or do you remember how that played out?
I don't recall him ever asking us to move to Abilene.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't recall that.
So he told you to sell your house and then give him, if not 20%, 30%.
Yeah, whatever
of the profit
of the cost of your house.
Right. Of the profit that we made, yeah.
And then you moved into another house where you paid rent.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I mean, it's wow, it's incredible.
Yeah, what
this man could get people to do.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Mom, listen, at one point the House of Yahweh claimed, I'm glad I got this question because I got you on this. Claimed that you had demons and you went through an exorcism of sorts. Would you mind sharing with us the experience from the point they claimed you had demons all the way until the point to where you were cleared?
Yeah. Here's the thing. When I was in the House of Yahweh, I was always afraid. I would be walking up the stairs. I thought it felt like there was, because they teach demons and, so I was always afraid. I had nightmares when I was walking up the stairs. I thought there was demons behind me. I was always fearful. And so when we went to a feast, and this was on the old feast grounds, I remember, and we were getting ready to go home, and I was starting to have like a panic attack because I was afraid. I thought I was safe there, and when we left, then the demons would be after me. That's how I felt. And so some of the elders came in the trailer and they were just praying over me and stuff, and it really wasn't any big deal. I don't recall it. They were just praying, had their hands, laid hands on me and were praying and stuff like that. So I don't remember, but they felt a pulsing down in my where would it be, just above my stomach, and that's your I don't know, the main artery that goes down, and you do have a pulse there. And they thought that was a demon. Well, I still have that pulse there. I mean, it's pretty strong. Yeah, exactly.
So in other words, no demon ever came out of you?
No, you don't exorcise the demons. No demon ever came out of me.
Okay. Meaning because
It's
you don't
not-
think there was ever one in you?
No, there was never one in me. They
Okay.
just had that fear in you because it's hell and brimstone.
Right.
And how can you not be afraid? You're afraid all the time. You know, Mel, I grew up with fear. So, you know, I was
Yes.
always afraid. That was, yeah. And yeah.
I'm not, I believe in demons. I honestly believe in the supernatural realm we can't see around us. So I'm not laughing at the fact that they thought you had demons. I'm laughing at the fact that your pulse that
Yeah.
pumps your blood
Yes.
through your body,
Yes.
they felt it with your heartbeat because let's
Yes.
face it, your heartbeat has a
Yeah,
rhythm.
absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your demon was dancing.
To the
Yeah.
beat of your heart.
In my heart.
To the beat of your heart.
Yeah.
And they, so in essence, when you went home, you should have had no more fear. You should have not felt anything
Is
else
it?
on your
Yeah.
shoulder or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't the case. Yeah.
Did you dance as well as you did before they got rid of your dancing demon?
No.
I'm not making fun of.
No,
Hey,
it is
I
funny.
don't mind. You can pick on me all you want because I can pick back. Yep, I'm good.
Oh my
Wow. Okay. All right.
gosh. Okay.
I'm waiting for this next question. The moment I saw this question, keep in mind it was 11 o'clock at night. I was like, "Ooh, I'm ready to do this question."
Mom, your grandson was born as a home birth at the House of Yahweh. We know that you attended this birth. Can you tell us what that was like for you and your family, including me? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Well,
there.
Yeah, I know you were having a lot of problems and stuff. And to me, it was like a damn circus in there. You know, you had all these midwives, and I don't think, yeah, it was the most ridiculous spectacle I've ever seen. And you were screaming and I thought and of course, your dad was outside, and he was pissed because he could hear you screaming, and he kept saying to Justin, "Put her in my car and I will bring her to the hospital. She needs to go to the hospital. No, you got to trust in Yahweh." And I thought he was going to cold cock him, but he didn't. But yeah, it was pretty traumatic. Yeah. And the whole thing was a circus. It was ridiculous.
And
You
part
didn't
of
have
that,
many
let me just
parents.
clarify, part of that is based on the fact that Eric was born during a feast. So there were people from out of town that considered themselves to be midwives that were there in the room. And there were a lot more people attending
Yeah.
that birth than probably attended most of the
Well,
births.
and why do you need that many midwives? I mean,
No.
seriously.
Yeah. No, there were
Yeah.
probably somewhere between 4 and 6, from what I remember.
Seemed like it was more, but okay. 3 rings. Guess what?
I mean, I couldn't keep
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
I was a little busy.
Yeah, you were a little busy.
So let me ask you this question. You're in there because I have actually had the privilege of being there for 2 grandbabies,
Uh-huh.
your great grandbabies. And I know that the doctor did not listen to everything I said, but if I had a question, they were like, this, or this, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But in control of the situation, when this was taking place, when Mel was giving birth to her oldest child,
Mm-hmm.
did you feel that your questions were being answered? Did you feel like they were in control of the room and in control of what was taking place? Or did you legitimately think to yourself and say, we need to go to the hospital?
No, I never said anything. I just pretty much kept quiet. Bob was doing all the complaining outside, I know. I remember going out there a couple times and talking with him, and he wanted to bring her to the hospital. But, I remember when she was finally ready to, give birth, that, it was a pretty traumatic time. But I really didn't say, no, she needs to go to the hospital.
Now, is that because you didn't feel comfortable asking any questions? Were you made to not feel comfortable, or?
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable. I figured they were doing what they do, and it wasn't for me to step in and say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And when it was a home birth, And home births are meant to feel family oriented. So,
Right.
wow, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, family
You know, it's
oriented.
building, right, Mel? You can feel it building in me.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I'm going, okay,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
building. Uh, so, Sandy, this is probably like a two-part question because this affected
Oh, yeah.
you a little bit too. Can you tell us how the multiple marriage teachings affected you and your family and friends that you considered family?
Oh, the multiple marriage. Well,
Here we go.
that's what made us leave eventually. I mean, made us leave. We left. How it affected me, or when did I hear about it?
Both. Take
Okay,
us
well,
back to that time.
Yep.
okay, well, Melody had called me on the phone because she was living in Texas. She was married to Justin, and she mentioned the multiple marriage. And I said, "Oh, hell no." Yeah, I call big bullshit on that. And I was hot. And Mel was trying to defend it. I wasn't hearing it. Nope. You're not going to defend that you're not going to defend that. And so the weird thing is we got off the phone and I was telling Bob about it, but three of the elders pulled up in my driveway and I thought, what the hell? Are they here because they know I'm pissed off about this multiple marriage thing? How
Now,
do they
mind
know I
you,
knew?
we lived in Michigan where no elders
Yeah,
lived.
we lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just showed
Or
up.
you lived in Michigan.
Yeah, three elders from Wisconsin. And they come in and and I said, well, are you guys here because of the multiple marriage? And you know how pissed off I am? Like I'm that important, oh, we gotta make save Sandy, don't let her leave the house. Jesus. But anyways, so they come in and they hadn't heard about it. And I said, well, Melody called me and she told me about it. They preached it over the pulpit, and I said, and I'll tell you right now, there's only one reason that a man would take another wife, and don't you tell me it's to do your dishes. I said, because then I'll tell you, I'm taking me another husband, and it's going to be to mow my lawn. Yeah. How about that? You're going to stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. Oh, I was hot.
So let's freeze the story right there because I have several questions from
Okay.
this. So you tell them, are you here because of the multiple marriage? What was their reaction when you said about multiple marriage?
I don't remember a lot of details. They just said, oh no, they had some business there in Michigan, in Traverse City, and they figured they'd stop by and see us since they were in Traverse City.
So it was a complete coincidence.
It was a complete coincidence.
So do you not remember if they were shocked or like, what are you talking about? Or
yeah, they did say they hadn't heard about it. Yeah, they were shocked. They hadn't heard about it, but I gave them my opinion about it, and I don't know any more of the conversation because I think I just kind of just put that. Yeah, I do remember the meat of it though.
Well, I asked because I think I've been told this before, but I find it funny that the elders, especially those three elders, because those three elders were very close to Yisrael, did not know about the multiple marriage before it came out.
No.
And I'm actually finding out that people outside of Abilene, Texas, the elders were not made aware of them bringing this sermon across.
Right. Yeah, they were not.
And I think it's partially because they didn't want the backlash. I think they expected backlash. Yeah. They knew the out-of-towners were going to be resistant to it, and I think that was very purposeful.
Especially from those three elders. One in particular I can think of would have probably been like, wait, what? I think they wanted to catch them off guard and not give them time
Yeah, to process it.
to
Yes.
process it and to prove it wrong.
Yes. Or to change it before it came out.
And how did your husband, Bob, how did Bob feel when he heard about multiple marriage?
Oh, he didn't agree with it at all. At all. He had, and I remember Justin being in our camper one a feast, and I said, so Justin, you plan on taking another wife? And how did he say that, Mel? He said
not at this time.
Not at this time. And I said, wrong answer. Yeah.
Do you remember the rest of your answer to that question? Your rest of your response?
No.
You said, when I agreed to let you marry my daughter, it was with the sole idea that she would be your one and only wife. And that's the only reason I would have agreed to let you marry her. If I'd known this multiple marriage teaching was going to come out, and you were even going to consider it, I would have never let you marry her.
Oh, see, I ripped him a new one, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, I remember it quite clear.
Did you have a close friend that was, entertaining the thought of becoming a second wife?
A close friend that was entertaining the thought?
Or that maybe became a second wife?
I don't think so. Who?
Who was your best friend before all this stuff came out?
Debbie.
Who was your best friend before that?
Oh, Maria. Yes. Okay. See, you got to kind of remind me of stuff. Yeah, Maria. Yeah, I didn't, I knew something was going on with her, when, because she was one of my best friends when we first joined. And then we were there and then the next week she has this trailer. And I'm thinking, where'd you get this trailer? How'd you get this? And she said, oh, Israel got it for me. And I said, well, why would Israel buy you a trailer? And I really don't remember, she said she was his secretary or something. I don't remember what her answer, but I found it very suspicious. And then you started hearing whispers going around that Maria and Israel are doing this,
Right. That they're basically having an affair.
They're having an affair. And that was at the new feast grounds when we were at the what was that called?
The 44 acres. Yep.
44. And so, I don't listen to gossip. So I just had Maria come over to my camper. I said, hey, I hear that you and Israel are having an affair. Is that true? Oh, yeah.
Look at Autumn's face. You asked her outright? Oh, yeah, she did.
I do ask her outright, Autumn. I don't listen to gossip. I go to the source. I always have. Hold on,
let me go get my popcorn for this.
And she said, no. And I said, oh, really? Okay. And that was about that. She denied it. And we never spoke again after that.
Then she avoided you like the plague.
Yeah, she avoided me. Yeah.
Wow. Autumn's face, I love it. Classic.
Yeah. Oh, I do, Autumn. If I hear gossip, I even would tell people at work, I'm not going to listen to gossip. I'm going to go to that particular person. I'm going to ask them outright.
No. I think that's a legitimate way to handle it.
Yeah.
And I completely, and I've always known that about you. I mean, that's just how you are.
Oh, yeah. You never need to know what I'm thinking.
Right. No, I guess that I'm in shock that you, I don't know why I'm in shock, to be honest with you. But I am just in shock for two parts. For A, that you just point blank asked her, hey, you doing this?
Yeah.
And B, that she just lied to you because she had a phone conversation with Kay probably a couple months before saying, hey, I just married your husband.
I don't know when that took place in accordance with that phone call. It may have been before.
I think that might have been before. But still, if they thought it was a righteous thing, why'd she lie about it? That might even have been before the multiple marriage thing came out.
So she never spoke to you?
No.
After
that? After that, no.
No.
Okay. And I want to see if you remember, because I remember this. Your camper, I mean, let's face it, since the age of 14, I was either at your camper or your daughters were at my house.
Yeah.
We would
Yep.
pull up to the feast grounds. My mom would say, find out what they want. I'm going to the store. You would say to your girls, find out what she
Yeah.
wants. I'm going to the store, you
Right.
know. So we had, basically 2 homes. And Mel had to have told you, because Mel has always been my champion. Even to this day, she's my champion.
Yeah.
So do you remember me sitting in your camper and Yedidia walking up, and you stepped outside like the door where he was walking up, and you said, sorry, you're taking another wife. You can't even take care of the one you got. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. That sounds like something I would say. Yeah.
I about fell out under the couch, under the little table that was in your camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, does anybody remember how he answered that?
I was dying inside because I was like, oh no, here we go, because there's going to be more to the conversation. And there was. We cannot repeat it because there might be young ears watching this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't remember his response.
Yeah, I don't either, because he knows I would have beat his ass, so it doesn't matter. I would have. I could have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just calling the bullshit where I saw the bullshit.
So after you heard about the multiple marriage, basically you went to the next feast asking all these young men who had married all these young women, hey, what do you think you're going to do about this? Are you going to take another wife? What's your plan? I need to know your plan.
Well, yeah, there was some guy that wanted Carrie for a wife. Do you know who that was? I don't remember who it was, Mel, but
I do know who it was. I'm not going to name names. I know who it was.
He already had already had a wife.
Yep.
And oh boy, Bob said, oh yeah, because he came up and asked Bob, and Bob said, don't you even bring that up to me again. Yeah.
Yep. I'll tell you later on. I can see your wheels turning over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you who it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's dying to know.
Yeah.
I do. I need to know.
Okay. So I'm going to ask this next question, then we're going to do a part 2. So I will ask the question. You can think about the answer, then we'll come back. Okay. We'll do a hook like we've done. So the next question is that you never ended up moving to Abilene, Texas. I kind of wanted to explain why you never moved there and how you think that affected your personal experience being in the House of Yahweh. Okay.
She will answer that when we come back.
Yep.
We ask that you do come back to part 2. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and give Sandy some love down here in the comments, because this woman ultimately made my teenage years fabulous.
Yeah.
See you in a few minutes.
Yep. We'll be right back with part 2. Thank you.